Hello, nice to meet you. I'm Cuddle. I'm going to be your tutor. Yes, it's really nice to meet you. Yeah, you opted for the nighttime class, so this should be a very relaxing experience. Very excited to teach you the basics today with lesson 1. Perfect. Alright, well, let's get started. Before we start, I would like to ask you, from 1 through 10, what level would you say that you're at right now with Spanish? With 1 being like absolutely don't know anything, and then 10 being like very fluent, which obviously you're here to learn, so I know it's not going to be a 10. But yeah, we have people come in who are like a 9 and they just want to kind of perfect their Spanish. I see lots of different students and stuff. Okay, perfect. So you're definitely like a beginner. Okay, perfect. Yeah. So that's good. That means I brought the right lesson plan. Sí. Bueno, I begin speaking English just to make you comfortable. I didn't want to start with Hola, me llamo Caro, just to make sure that you're comfortable. And I want to make sure you understand, okay? Don't worry, we'll get to speaking Spanish super soon. You are in good hands. All right. So, today we're going to start with lesson 1, okay? So, I guess we should start, obviously, with the Spanish alphabet. In the Spanish alphabet, we have a few new letters and sounds that you probably have never heard before. So we definitely need to get used to those, right? So definitely going to start with the alphabet. It won't be so hard just because in the Spanish, vowels only have 1 sound. So we'll get to that. But okay, let's start with the alphabet, okay? So in the Spanish alphabet, we have A, just like the English one, but it's pronounced A. A, B, that's B, yeah. C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, double L, or Y, M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q, R, double R, S, T, U, V, V. So with this next one, I grew up saying W. Just go with W. X, Y, and Z. Alright, so if I say that quickly, it's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, Ñ, O, P, Q, R, R, S, T, V, W, X, Y, y Z. There you go. That is the Spanish alphabet. You might have noticed that we had some additional little friends there. So, I guess we'll start with that. Yes, okay. The first kind of like different letter that you might have seen is, where is it? So, we have G. All right, that one's a little different. It's probably going to be, let me write it down for you. Okay, so let's get into one of the differences between English and Spanish alphabet, right? So we have the letter G, 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 G. There's a lot of different words that have the letter G, and they're all pronounced very differently. But don't worry, don't get overwhelmed. We have a lot of time to learn all of them. But I want to show you one instance where G would not be pronounced G, right? I'm going to show you a word. It is geografía. It's behind an E, so it will be pronounced geografía. So that's one thing you have to look out for, is when G's are not geografía. You wouldn't say geografía. You would say geografía, so be pronounced as an H. Geografía. It's kind of like you breathe into it. Geografía, not G. Another difference is H. Would be the next one. And H is silent. So if we had hola, you would pronounce hola, not hola, right? You would pronounce hola. And then if you had héroe, which is hero, you would say héroe, héroe, because the H is silent. Does that make sense? Can you say hola for me? Hola. Kind of like round out your lips like this and go hola. Yeah. That means hello. Hi. Yes. Okay. Moving on. We also have the J in Spanish, which is jota. You would not say Julio, right? You'd say Julio. In Spanish, it sounds much more like an H. So you breathe into it. Julio, Julio. Yeah, Julio. Or the same as Jose. H. Jose. So the J just has a much more sound, okay? You're doing really good, yeah. Yeah, I'm not overwhelming you with information. Okay, perfect. And don't worry, like I said, we're gonna do many more examples and stuff like that. This is just like the basics, gonna try to just give you like the most important information. The next one would be this one. Yeah. In the Spanish alphabet, y is pronounced llave. It's like a Y. In English, y, yellow, y, llave. So llave means key. Y, ave, y, ave, llave. So it's pronounced y. You got that? So when you see the double L, definitely just, I think Y's, you know, like, yeah. Yeah, as time passes, you're gonna kind of get like accustomed to like, it's just gonna be instant, like in a second, I promise. We have N, right, in the Spanish alphabet, N. But if you add this little tilde, you see that it's a ñ, ñ. It's a little tilde, and it'll change the meaning of a word so much. So we could have no, which means no, and then you could have ñ, ña, 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 ña. So ni, ño, ño. Or if you had how would you say that? I know we just started. I'm just trying to see if you're able to do that. Do you think you would know how to say that? Ma, nya, na, nya, nya. I know it's too soon. Okay. The next difference would be you're going to see double R's. With a double R, it's going to be like R. So you just have to flutter your tongue just right here. Yeah, you'll get it. It takes time. But it changes a word a lot. So when you would have pero means but, you know, like, oh, but this, like, pero yo dije que no, pero yo quería esto, pero, because it's one R. But then if you change it, where if you see the double R, it would be perro, perro. So you went from but to dog. Yeah, perro, pero, perro, pero. It'll take time to get the little roll, and it doesn't even have to be so strong in the beginning. As long as you can get the perro, and then with time, your tongue will flutter more and more, and you're gonna get it. Promise. All right, let me see where I'm at. I think that was the last kind of like important difference. The thing I wanted to touch base on you real quick is acentos. Acentos is when you see a word have, so if you see like that little sign up there, that's an acento. And all that means is that you have to really pronounce that letter, if that makes sense. So sometimes you'll see it in names, in certain words. So let's say we have Jose. You would say Jose. Any letter that has this, you're gonna just You get me? Yeah? Okay, perfect. Yeah. Acentos are just kind of like you gotta just they gotta sound excited, is what I like to say. Yeah. Okay. All right. We've made it this far. Lo que sigue. Yeah, as our lessons go on, I'll definitely speak a lot more Spanish in them. I just don't want to confuse you, okay? Okay. We're going to continue with our vowels. We have 5 vowels. Tenemos 5 vocales. And the good thing about it is that it only has one sound, each one. So there's no confusing, you know. Las vocales tienen un sonido y es todo. So we can trust them. All right, let me get this near me. Okay, so we have vocal A, vocal E, I, O, U. A, E, I, O, U. El burrito sabe más que tú. We used to sing that song in my elementary school. It's kind of mean, but we used to sing it. It means A, E, I, O, U. A donkey knows more than you. I don't know why we used to sing that. Okay, so for A, it's going to sound like ah, 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 ah. It's always going to sound like that. So if you have like the word caca, poop, ca, it's going to sound like caca. That's such a funny, sorry, but yeah, that's always going to sound ah. Can you say that for me? Ah, ah. Okay, and then we have e, e. Good job. And then we have, I would say like this, like a e, like an eel, you know, e. That's so. If you ever see an I, that's what you expect to sound like. E. O is O. 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 And then for the U, ooh, ooh. Just make your mouth a little ooh, like a circle, and ooh, like a little owl. Yeah. So you will always, always, always trust that these sound like this. A, E, I, O, U. 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 Can you say that for me? A, E, I, O, U. Okay. And I think that's a good spot to stop. I think the alphabet and the vocales, alfabeto y vocales, are a very good start to Spanish language. And I think I'm gonna end this with just some basic pronunciation with you. Vamos a decir poquitas palabras juntos para que mires cómo usar el alfabeto. That way you can really get some experience. Definitely with any language you're learning, don't forget to apply it. Don't be scared to mess up. Don't be nervous that you're gonna sound weird. You gotta start somewhere and you're gonna be fine. Practice makes perfect, okay? So what we're gonna start with is a word that has a few vocales. So this word here, I won't say it so that we could say it together. So we're gonna separate this into sections. I wanna see what you would pronounce this as. You can't try for me, just try. Okay, so the way I would tell you to make this easier for yourself is, this is a vocal, 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 right? Now separate these words, Okay. We got this. Ready? Okay, let's do this. Bo, bol, bo, bol, li. So I guess like that is better. Bo, li, gra, gra, gra. Like Ice Spice. Just sorry. Perdón. Bolígrafo. Bolígrafo. So you have those vocales in there that you know that O is O. You know that I is I, A, O. O, I, A, O. Then you just add in these letters. Bolígrafo. It is going to make Spanish so freaking easy. I don't think you understand. But yeah, that's one. Let's do a very important word to learn when you're traveling and stuff. We got two of them. Separate it. Ready? O, la. Remember, this is silent. You don't say hola. You say o, la. Hello. Hi. See? Okay, ya tenemos ahí hola. How do you say bye? This is one way. Of course, if you travel different places, they'll say different things, but this is a very kind of like the go-to. Adios. 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 You see how I'm separating the vocales and then making the sounds a, I, o. A, I, o. And then just adding a D and an S right there. Adios. I told you. So easy. All right. Well, we'll end it here for today. I had so much fun with you. You were such a great student today. Me encantó esta primer clase contigo. Muchas gracias por poner mucha atención. And I will see you in our next class. Hopefully you are here. Yeah, you're so welcome. Bye. Welcome back. I'm so happy to see you, that you're here on time. Just kidding. ¿Cómo estás? Okay. Are you ready for lesson number 2? Spanish? You are? Okay, perfect. Me too. Did you bring your notes? Perfect. Okay, well, I'm very excited because today's lesson is a lesson that's really important. When you start, learning a language, you really need to start with those simple phrases and words that everybody knows, like hello, goodbye, and stuff like that. So that's what we're going to be diving into today, as well as pronouns. In Spanish, the pronouns are a little tricky. We'll save that for later. I don't want to confuse you, but we're going to get into that today, okay? It will take you some time with the pronouns, I'm sure, but like I said, with time, everything is just going to start to come naturally. Yeah, perfect. Did you enjoy the last lesson? Was it easy to follow and understand? That makes me very happy, actually. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with hola, hi. Hola, hi. That's what it means, yes. So hola is hi. And I'm repeating it so many times because sometimes we just need repetition and to hear something multiple times to get it. Yeah, so how about you try it? Go ahead and say hola. Yeah, say it a few times. It should help you out. Hola. Okay. And you would spell that like this. Yes. Okay. If you were going to see somebody in the morning and you wanted to greet them, you would say good morning, right? So that's buenos dias. And on dias, you have that accent. You see the accent? So that means you have to stress it a little bit. So buenos dias. And here you might notice, which we'll get into after, buenos ends in N-O-S. Nos. Nos. Buenos dias. Yeah, that's just something I want you to take a look at for now. Don't worry about it. Good afternoon would be buenas tardes. Buenas tardes. And you'll notice this one ends in nas, right? Yes, a little confusing, I know. We will get to it. And then good night would also be buenas noches. Buenas noches. Yes, okay. Let's see, what's next? Goodbye. Do you think you know how to say goodbye? There's a few, yeah. I think a really commonly used one is adios. Adios. And adios has an accent as well. On the stress it a little bit. Adios. All right. And then we also have what's your name, which is ¿Cómo te llamas? ¿Cómo te llamas? And you will notice that the question marks, we have two in the beginning and in the end of that question. The sentence is a question, so we have two. Okay, moving on. Yeah, we're kind of going by fast with these, aren't we? Don't forget, if you're taking notes, you have these written down and you can look back at them and just replay them in your head. Buenos dias, buenas noches, buenas tardes, good morning, good night, hello, all that. You just keep repeating it to yourself. Practice in the mirror, and slowly it'll just come naturally in sentences and stuff like that, okay? How are you would be ¿Cómo estás? With the question marks, as I said, and because it's a question. And then we have two accents on this word. We have an accent on ¿Cómo estás? On both. Can you say that for me? ¿Cómo estás? ¿Cómo estás? Yes. Okay. So, a response to ¿Cómo estás? could be fine, right? Like I'm fine. You can say bien, bien. Or if you want to say, you know, so, you can say más o menos. Más o menos has an accent on the A, so más o menos. Yeah, that's like a good answer to that. And then we have please, which is por favor, por favor, por favor. Yes. And then we have thank you, which is gracias, gracias, gracias. Can you say that one? That one's a little tricky. Gracias. Yes. And then de nada. What do you think that is? De nada. Does this sound means you're welcome? De nada is you're welcome. And then this last one I'll give you here is, I don't want to overwhelm you. Now we're getting into the thing I was kind of dreading the most to teach you today, because I knew it was going to be a little tricky and I know it's going to overwhelm us. So let's take a few deep breaths. I know that you got this and that it's going to take time, but as soon as you get this down, I know it's going to get so easy for you, okay? All right, let me get ready to use the whiteboard. Now that I got the whiteboard here with me, we're ready. Okay, so we have 10 basic pronouns in Spanish that you'll be using every day, literally all the time. I'm going to use a chart that really helped me when learning these pronouns. Feel free to use it. I think it's a very helpful tool. On this side, I will be putting all the singular pronouns. So that would be in English, I or you, you know, all the pronouns with you. So here I'm gonna put yo. So yo means I. Say yo. Okay. And then we're gonna put tú, which means you. Yo is I, tú is you. So if you're telling somebody, oh, you need to go there, you would say tú, you know, like tú, and then yo is you, right? Okay. Then we're gonna go ahead and put el, and don't forget, whenever you see those accents, you need to really yeah, this is super tiny. I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. My little teddy bear is falling. El. Oh, the acento does not go there. Sorry about that. El. El, what do you think el means? He. So he didn't go to class. El. Say that, el. Okay. And then we have ella. Yeah, él is a guy, the male version, and then the woman is ella, the female. Sorry. Ella and él. Ella. So her. Him and her. Well, he and her. Sorry. Okay. And then, okay, next we have usted. I'm gonna put that one here. Usted. You. I know it's a little confusing because I did say tú means you, but what I will say is that usted is much more, this is much more informal, and this is more with respect. Usted. And tú is more like just a friend or someone, you know. That would be towards like your elder or someone that you respect and that you want to show respect to. You would say usted, like you will be going, what's an example I can give you? Like if you're talking to your father and you want to ask them if they're going to come with you to the store, in Spanish I would ask in this way. Ready? ¿Usted va a venir a la tienda conmigo? Question. It's a question. So usted instead of tú vas a venir a la tienda conmigo, I wouldn't say that. I would, but then again, it's up to you when you use usted, because it is kind of like a respect thing. So yeah, I hope that how I explained it, okay. Yeah, so I am a beginner Spanish teacher. I am not a professional whatsoever, so please take it easy on me. Okay. Yes, next we're gonna go straight to the plural pronouns, which will be on this side. So in the beginning I told you these are the singular pronouns, and these on this side of the chart are going to be the plural. Okay, so I'm going to put nosotros. Can you say that for me? Nosotros, that means we, but that says nosotros. Can you say that for me one more time? Nosotros. Okay, now we have vosotros, and it's, in Spanish, it depends where you are. There's many ways of saying certain words, so it does really depend where you are, but this is a very common one, vosotros, or you might even see vos. We have el, the plural of that would be ellos. So like a big group of guys would be ellos, a big group of girls would be ellas. You see how the endings are os and as? It's different in that sense, which we'll get to. And then usted would be ustedes. Ustedes. Yeah. Yes. A lot of people use ustedes here as well. Tú and ustedes, vosotros. It really, like I said earlier, it depends where you're from, is where you'll get certain words used more or less. Some people that speak Spanish will never say vosotros because they're from a place where they say ustedes, or so yeah. I feel like this is a good place to stop. I feel like this is a lot that you need to I do think it's like a good place to put a little placeholder. You study these really, really hard, and then in the next class we will move on to the next. Yes, so can you say these with me? Yo, tú, él, ella, usted. Okay, so that is in English. Yo is I, tú is you, él, what's él? He, her. And then this also could mean you. We did the whole formal, informal thing. Yes, okay. Next, take your time. Nosotros is we. Vosotros is you plurally. And then ellos, ellas, y ustedes is they and you plural. Can you say these with me? Ready? Nosotros, vosotros, vos, ellos, ellas, ustedes. Okay, perfect. And then don't forget in your notes to put in those accents, esos acentos, which are going to be very important always when you're writing. Obviously, when you're speaking, it's not as noticeable if you forget that there's an accent, but when you are writing something, it can change a word completely from what you meant to say, because it could really change the meaning of it. If I have él and él, they mean different things. So this would be used in a sentence of like his. Él is more him, because él is like el lápiz, the pencil, and él is like him. Él Lápiz is el. So it went from the pencil to that's his pen. So make sure those accents are there. They are very important and they mean different things. I need you to study this, and our next lesson should be very, very soon. I'm hoping you're following along easily. Like I said, I am not a professional whatsoever. So, if there's ever something that you disagree with or you think I said to you incorrectly, definitely comment it down below. Teachers make mistakes, and yeah, that's pretty much it for today. I will see you in our next class. Love you, and yeah, bye. Mucho gusto en mirarte otra vez. Gracias por llegar a tiempo. Sí, ya estoy toda lista. Siéntate, sí. Ok. Esta clase de hoy va a ser súper fácil hoy. Sí, te quería dar poquito tiempo de que estudiaras lo que hemos aprendido. Así que hoy vamos a hacer números, formas y colores. Sí. No todos, pero un grupo muy importante, ¿ok? So today's lesson is going to be quite easy. I just wanted to give you a little break from the last two. I know you're still trying to get all those down. So today we're doing numbers, shapes, and colors. How does that sound? Ooh, yeah, I'm a little hot today. I had 2 classes back to back, and then your little study session, and then I have one more class after you. Yeah, it's okay. I have lunch after this, so I should be fine. Sí, tengo mi lonche después de esto. Sí. Okay, bueno. Let's jump right in. What color would you like me to use today? Negro, black, rojo. I think negro because it pops, you know? I want to start with the numbers. Quiero empezar con los números, okay? That was loud. Vamos a empezar 1 al 10, ¿ok? Cuando te aprendas el 1 al 10, haremos 10 a 20, luego 1 a 20, and we'll continue, okay? But today we'll do 1 through 10. So we have 1, we have 2, we have 3, we have 4, we have 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Alright, so now you're going to say them with me, okay? Okay, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Now let's do it backwards. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And today I'm not going to spell the numbers. We will do that another day. Today I want to help you with just knowing what they look like and sound like, okay? So, what number was that? 1. 1. This one? 2. This one? 3. 1, 2, 3. Say it. Backwards. 3, 2, 1. Say it. Okay. Perfect. Now, I'm gonna do a little test because it seems like you kind of got this down a little bit. I feel like numbers is a little easy, right? Eyelash in my eye. I feel like the numbers is pretty easy. Like the pronunciation is, you kind of just memorize what it looks like and you know what to say, right? So we'll get into the spelling another day, like I said. But I want to do a test that's gonna kind of help you with that, like the photographic. If you can match the number with the image in your head, it's gonna make it really easy for you. So I'll write all the numbers down in random places and then we'll point, and that way you could memorize the numbers based on the way they look, okay? Sometimes you'll see the 4 like that, just like in English, or like that. That's kind of, it's easy to know because it also, in every language, the numbers sometimes just have different font. But I just wanted to point that out. Okay. All right. Voy a explicarlo en español solo para practicar, ¿verdad? Quiero que podamos memorizar los números por imagen. Quiero que cuando mires un 7 sepas, ese es un 7, 7, 3, 2. ¿Sí me entiendes? Vamos a jugar un juego donde voy a apuntar a un número y tú me vas a decir qué número es, ¿ok? Al principio va a ser un poco difícil, pero ya cuando te memorices cada imagen, lentamente vas a saber solo por cómo se mira, ¿verdad? Como todo es memoria y repetición, ¿ok? Perfect. ¿Qué número es? 3, 2, 5, 7, 5, 1, 10, 2, 6, 4, 7, 9, 6, 5, 8, 3, 4, 10. Okay. Now, I want you to say these fast as I point. Fast, okay? Okay. 1, 4, 6, 5, 2, 7, 9, 3, 10, 8. 8, 9, 7, 3, 10, 5, 2, 4, 1, 6. 1, 4, 6, 5, 2, 7, 3, 10, 8, 9. You can do this exercise on a notebook. You can jot down all the numbers, and then once you have them jotted down, you just start pointing quickly at each one, or even flashcards. If you're more of a flashcard person, you can write all these numbers down on a flashcard and then just go through them quickly. Memorization will help you so much. Just putting an image to something, even with like the alphabet, even with anything, right? In life, if you can memorize it, you're good. So repetition is going to be your best friend, okay? Repetición en papelitos. También puedes cortar tarjetitas, poner los números y estar practicando todo el día. Llévatelos contigo a donde vayas y en vez de estar en el teléfono, puedes sacar tus tarjetitas y practicar, ¿ok? Aquí tengo, voy a mover mi osito. Tengo algo que quería enseñarte. Puedes leer lo que dice arriba. Dice, ¿qué forma es? ¿Verdad? Deje y nomás lo acomodo. Ya está acomodado. Estaba un poquito grande, por eso tuve que acomodarlo. Aquí tengo muchas formas. ¿Qué forma es? What shape is it? Right? Say with me, ¿qué forma es? And it's a question, right? ¿Qué forma es? What shape is it? So here we have una línea, a line. Can you say that with me? Una línea, un círculo, a circle. Un círculo, a circle. A little messed up circle because I don't know how to draw clearly. Looks like an oval circle. It's okay. Está poquito crooked. Está poquito óvalo mi círculo, ¿verdad? Pero está bien. Un triángulo, a triangle. Un triángulo, a triangle. Triángulo. Un cuadrado. Un cuadrado. A square. A square. Can you say that one? That was a little hard. Cuadrado. Un cuadrado. Un rectángulo. This one's going to be hard. You're going to say this. You got this. Un rectángulo. Put it all together. Un rectángulo. You got this. Un óvalo. Un óvalo. An oval. Un pentágono. Un pentágono. Un pentágono. Pentagon. Un hexágono. 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 Un hexágono. Can you say that? Un hexágono. Hexagon. Un octágono. Un octágono. Un octágono. Octagon. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Octagon. And then we have this one. Un rombo. Un, say with me, un rombo. Un corazón. Corazón. Una estrella. Una estrella. All right. I know that the pronunciation for these is a little hard. When you separate them though, and then put the words together, it makes it a lot easier. I do recommend that. So when you jot down in your notes, make sure you put, instead of hexagonal, like just putting hexagonal, you put hexagonal, and then in the bottom you put hex/ag/ono. Hexagono, so that you can practice for saying it separately, and then you can merge the words together. That really helped me out when I was younger. And obviously a hexagon has 6 sides, hexagonal, and a pentagon has 5, cinco líneas. But we'll get into the correct terminology for shapes another time. Right now, I just want you to learn the basics. This is a line, una línea. So that way, if you're explaining something to someone like, oh, a straight line, una línea, you can say it to them. Una línea. Una línea. Let's say that together. Línea. Next, círculo. Triángulo. Cuadrado. Rectángulo. Óvalo. Pentágono. Hexágono. Octágono. Rombo. Corazón. Estrella. I'm going to give you a print of this to take home because I really want you to practice it. And I feel like if the next time I see you, you can say these to me. If I can block what each one is and you can say it to me, we're good. That's all I need you to do is memorize that, okay? So I guess you have that little bit of homework. I hope you complete it. All right. And next, last but not least, doing a really quick Guess what this says? Colors, ya dos. Spanish, guess what? How do you say that? You shouldn't guess because in the first lesson I taught you how to say words like this. It's a very simple word in my opinion. If you don't get it, it's okay. I'm not trying to be mean, but colores, colores, colores. Remember that a, e, I, o, u. You separate the word. Colores, colores, colors, colors. Okay, so what colors do we have here? Rojo, rojo, naranja, naranja, amarillo, verde, azul, azul marino, rosa, morado, marrón, gris, negro, y blanco. When I was little, we used to sing a song. It was rojo, verde, amarillo, blanco, negro, anaranjado, gris, café, azul, morado, 10 colores tengo yo. Here they have, in my chart, in our lesson, they have azul marino, and they don't say anaranjado, they say naranja, and they don't say brown, like the way I was raised to, which was café. They say marrón. So, like I said, depending where you're using your Spanish and depending which lessons you take, it's gonna really vary. I grew up saying Rosita, not Rosa, but also I feel like my Spanish, the one I grew up speaking, is a lot slang, to be honest, because when I took my Spanish class, my actual Spanish class, my teacher let me know, because I told her so confidently, I was like, I speak Spanish, I'm just here for the extra credits. She straight up told me, you don't speak full Spanish, you talk so much slang and it's not correct technically, it's not the correct terminology that you're using. So I will say, if you're trying to learn Spanish to be grammatically perfectly correct, make sure you take the right lessons, and whatever region you're going to be traveling to or that you want to learn, make sure you follow that lesson, because every Spanish teacher has their own background. I don't know how to explain that. You know what I mean though. Sí. Así que, como dije, yo aprendí ciertas cosas diferentes de chica. Yo aprendí rosita, yo aprendí café y anaranjado. Pero dependiendo en dónde estás, en qué clase vas a aprender, de qué lugar es el español, te van a enseñar cosas diferentes. Así que asegúrate que si vas a visitar un lugar específico, estás aprendiendo las terminología de esa exacta locación. ¿Sí me entiendes? Okay, perfecto. Enough of that. I'm going to try to teach you the song. I'm going to repeat it twice, and I'm going to give you a little printed copy of it, and it's going to help you with 10 colors. There's no azul marino in it, and there's no, I think that's the only one, Yola box kind of thing. Okay, so it's rojo, verde, amarillo, blanco, negro, anaranjado, gris, café, azul, morado. Oh, actually, it doesn't have pink and this one. I thought it was white, but it does have white. Teachers make mistakes, okay? Teachers make mistakes. Okay. Rojo, verde. And I'm not a singer, so please don't come for me. It's a tune. I'm tuning, okay? Rojo, verde, amarillo, blanco, negro, anaranjado, gris, café, azul, morado, 10 colores tengo yo. I purposely made this chart be unorganized to the song because I want you to memorize, like I said earlier with the numbers, the color with the word I'm saying. So once you memorize obviously in English, you know what green looks like, and you know green. So in Spanish, once you start to see what verde is, when I point to it, you're gonna memorize it, and as soon as your brain clicks that, you're good. You're gonna know what verde is forever. You're not gonna forget it. So I, like I said earlier, recommend you to do a chart or flashcards. Memory type of games make you learn things super duper fast. Las cosas que aprendes con memoria y tarjetitas son yo creo que la mejor manera de aprender cosas. So si quieres hacer tarjetitas para este también, te va a ayudar a aprender los colores, porque en el momento que mires este color, tú te vas a recordar que ese es café, ¿sí me entiendes? Si te tratas de aprender los colores en la manera que están escritos, ¿sí me entiendes? No es tan fácil que si nada más piensas en cómo se mira, ¿verdad? Como los números, como te dije con los números. Espero que te lo esté explicando en una manera simple, porque no quiero sobrecomplicar cómo explico las cosas. Creo que explicando lo más simple ayuda a aprender más rápido. I hope I'm explaining in a way that is easily learnable. I feel like sometimes I over-explain, but hopefully I'm staying on track. Let's sing it again, okay? Rojo, verde, amarillo, blanco, negro, anaranjado, gris, café, azul, morado, 10 colores tengo yo. Okay, so I spelled out café instead of marrón, but both are correct. Café, marrón. And then we have anaranjado, because I wanted you to see it. So let's go ahead and sing the song looking at it in order. Hopefully it helps you out. If you want to jot these down, you can. Rojo, verde, amarillo, blanco, negro, anaranjado, gris, café, azul, morado, 10 colores tengo yo. All right. Now I want to hear your pronunciation to each of these, so I'm going to point and you read it out to me, okay? Morado, azul, café. Okay. Gris, gris. This one's long, yeah. Separate. Anaranjado. Anaranjado. Yeah, you'll get it. Negro. Negro. Blanco. Yeah, amarillo. Not amarillo. No amarillo. Amarillo. Yo. Amarillo. Verde. Rojo. Perfect. You did so good. All right. I feel pretty good stopping here today. I feel like this is a good amount of information for you to study for the next few days. I really want you to be good with the colors next time you come in. I'm going to give you the printout of the song, and then both of these printouts I'm going to give for you to go with. Te voy a dar copias de estos dos Y necesito que para la siguiente clase, estos ya te los tienes que saber. Estos también, ¿ok? Voy a estar apuntando cada uno la siguiente clase y tú me vas a decir a qué estoy apuntando. Un pentágono, un cuadrado, verde, un octágono, todo, ¿ok? Next, well, I won't tell you when, but we're going to do a test, and I'm going to test how to see if you did study, so make sure you study. Estudia, usa tarjetitas o en una libreta nada más practica. And yeah, if you need any help, si necesitas ayuda, tú sabes dónde encontrarme, you know where to find me, and I wish you the best of luck. Learning the colors and the shapes to me is like the funnest part, because it's just photographic memory. You know, you can learn this with flashcards or just repeating it and looking at it. So make sure that you put in the effort. It should be easy if you really practice, okay? Esta es una de las partes favoritas mías de aprender en cualquier lenguaje, los colores y los números, porque es solo como repetición. Así que si me necesitas, ya te dije, sabes cómo encontrarme, pero hasta la siguiente clase te voy a mirar, ¿ok? Bye. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Mucho gusto en verte otra vez. Welcome. It's really good to see you again. Yes, I believe we are on our 4th or 5th lesson. Yeah, it's hard to remember. We've gotten through some stuff, haven't we? Sí, tenías tarea la última vez que viniste, ¿verdad? I left you some homework. Did you complete that? Okay, so then I'll be checking that today. Voy a estar revisando eso hoy, ¿ok? Hoy tengo poquita música para relajarnos. Espero que no te moleste. ¿No te molesta? Perfecto, ok. Bueno, la última vez que viniste estábamos haciendo las formas. ¿Qué forma es? Y estábamos haciendo los colores. ¿Sí recuerdas? Sí. Entonces puedes... Dejé agarro mi libreta. ¿Tienes esa tarea? Sí. Ok, sácamela por favor para revisarla. I'll check your homework in a second. Pull it out for me and then I will go ahead and check that real quick before your lesson today. And it looks like we are in our 4th lesson. Yes, I knew it. Sí, estamos en nuestra 4ª clase. ¿Ya tienes tu tarea? Ok. Vamos a revisar. Ok. Así que, ¿qué forma es? Voy a nada más checar lo que hiciste correcto, lo que hiciste incorrecto y voy a escribir unas notitas para ti, ¿ok? Una línea, un corazón, correcto, una estrella. ¿Tuviste dificultad con la tarea o fue fácil? ¿Poquito difícil? Yeah. What did you find the most difficult in the homework? Hexagonal, octagonal, and pentagonal. Pentagon, hexagon, and octagon. Octagons, yeah, a little bit easier just because it's octagon, octagonal, 8. It's a lot easier than the other ones. Yeah. Okay, y luego un triángulo. That was easy for you, I see. And then let's see the back. Okay, and here we have the rojo, verde, amarillo. Okay, so remember, amarillo is with the eye. Amarillo, amarillo. Okay. Well, you only got 2 things wrong, as I'm seeing. 2 things wrong out of the 2-sheet packet is not bad at all. That is really good work. I'm very proud of you. Solo agarraste 2 cosas incorrectas de toda esta tarea. Así que muy bien trabajo. Estoy muy orgullosa de ti. Y síguele así. Muy bien trabajo. Ok. Bueno, ¿estás listo para la 4ª clase? You ready for your 4th class? Are you feeling nervous? No? Good. I did not expect that answer, so I'm really happy about that. Okay. Today, pardon me if I keep looking down. I took so many notes for this class because I really want you to find this lesson easy, if that makes sense. I don't want you to get too stressed out or confused, and that could happen a lot with this specific lesson, okay? So we're gonna take it slow. Esta clase la vamos a tomar despacito. Tómate tu tiempo porque esta clase puede ser un poquito confusa, ¿ok? Lo que vamos a hacer hoy, palabras interrogativas. So, question words. The words you need to know for questions, interrogative words, right? So, we're going to be looking at how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. A good amount, okay? So, if you want to take notes, you can take some notes with me. I took a lot because it just helps me to look at things. But you don't have to. You can obviously just listen if you're a listener learner, if you're a writing learner. It's up to you, okay? Okay. Puedes escuchar o tomar notas, lo que tú necesites, okay? So, la primera que vamos a estar mirando es ¿qué? ¿Qué? Can you say that? ¿Qué? In a question. Remember, we're doing questions. ¿Qué? Which means what? What? For example, ¿qué te gusta? What do you like? ¿Qué te gusta? What do you like? Okay, so that's the first one. ¿Qué? What? Number 2, we have ¿cómo? How? ¿Cómo? How? So, ¿cómo means how? For example, ¿cómo te gusta el café? How do you like your coffee? ¿Cómo? How? Number 3. Number 3, we have ¿cuándo? When? ¿Cuándo? When? ¿Cuándo vuelves de viaje? When do you get back from your trip? ¿Cuándo? When? Number 4, we have ¿dónde? Where? ¿Dónde? Where? ¿Dónde vives? Where do you live? And the 5th one, we have ¿por qué? Why? ¿Por qué? Why? ¿Por qué estudias español? Why do you study Spanish? ¿Por qué estudias español? Why do you study Spanish? And don't forget, in Spanish, we do have the 2 question marks, not just in the end, okay? No se te olvide que tenemos los 2 signos de pregunta, no nomás uno. En inglés nomás ponemos al final y en español lo ponemos en el principio y en el final. Okay? Number 7, tenemos ¿cuál y cuáles? Which is which. And for these, the reason there's 2, ¿cuál y cuáles? ¿Cuál is singular? ¿Cuál is singular? So which, when you're talking about a singular thing, is ¿cuál? When you're talking about a plural, 2 or more, you're going to use ¿cuáles? For example, ¿cuál es tu lápiz? So we're talking about a pencil. So which is your pencil, right? One singular one is cuál, which is your pencil. And then plural, cuáles, would be cuáles son tus lápices. We're speaking about all of these. It'd be cuáles son tus lápices. You know what I mean? I always ask that when I want to make sure we're on the same page. I'm like, you know what I mean? Just thumbs up or down, and then that'll kind of let me know if I'm going too fast. You're getting it? Okay, perfect. I'm telling you, taking notes really, really helps out. Okay? Okay, so remember, cuál, singular, plural is cuáles. Okay, next we have quién y quiénes. Same thing, we have singular and plural. Quién, quiénes. Who, we're speaking about who in singular and in plural. So some examples are, ¿quiénes son tus amigos? Who are your friends? ¿Quién es tu mamá? Who is your mom? So we have quiénes, plural, amigos, right? And then quién es your mom, quién es tu mamá is who. Yeah, sorry, I confused you a little. Let's go back. Quiénes is plural because it was speaking about your friends. Yes. And then when they asked about your mom, it's one person, so it's quién. There we go. Backtrack. We're on the same page. Okay. Next, cuánto y cuánta. Those mean how much, singular and plural again. So you would have, and this is the part that I really need you to take notes, pay attention in, because this part gets a little tricky, okay? Okay, so we're gonna have cuánto, cuánta, which is how much, cuántos, cuántas, which is how many. This part gets a little confusing, so I need you to stick with me, okay? So we have the uncountable things as masculine words, okay? Focus. And we have the countable things as feminine, okay? For example, we're gonna have an example here for the cuánto and the cuánta. We have cuánto dinero hay. How much money is there? ¿Cuánta comida quieres? How much food do you want? So those are two examples. And then we have cuántos and cuántas, which is, here we have two examples. ¿Cuántas amigas tienes? Feminine, amigas, cuántas, right? And then we have ¿cuántos amigos tienes? As a question. I know it sounds like I'm making a statement, but ¿cuántos amigos tienes? Because we're asking that question, and it's masculine because it's amigos. ¿Cuántos? The gos and gas makes it feminine and masculine. It looks pretty when you spell it out. You can pinpoint which one is going to be a masculine or feminine. And of course, for uncountable things, you would use cuánto, cuánta, and then for countable things, cuántos, cuántas. Does that make sense? Yes, you can copy this, and then you can jot down for the cuánto and cuánta, uncountable things, and for cuántos, cuántas, countable things. And then for the masculine and feminine, it's just highlight for the dinero, cuánto, it ends in o, and then comida ends with a, feminine, masculine. We're gonna have a whole lesson for that very soon, because it's a very important part, obviously, of Spanish, knowing when to say cuánto dinero hay and not saying cuánta dinero hay. But it's really easy once you get a hang of it, and once you hear the words come out of your mouth, it starts to come out really smoothly. So I know that you're gonna get that part really good. So jot that down and study it. Remember the things I said. Repeat it to yourself in your brain, and you're gonna get it super fast, okay? Let's see. I don't know if that was the last one. It was the last one. Wow, we went through that really fast. Did you have any questions for me today? I was gonna continue, but you know what? I feel like that last one, you know, it confused you a little. Siento que esa última te confundió, así que esto va a ser todo para esta clase hoy. Esa última necesito que la estudies mucho. Si yo te pregunto una palabra como dinero, tú me tienes que saber decir si usarías cuánto o cuánta. So for tonight's homework, I'm gonna need you to know all of these. You have a week to study this, and basically, if I say, for your homework, it's gonna say basically like, which interrogative word would you use if you're asking whose pencil is that, or how much food do you want? You're gonna have to write the question down for me, and then if it's feminine or masculine, I want you to highlight why. So, do you feel confident that you can do that after today's lesson? You think you got it? Well, don't forget, you can always email me if you have any questions. And yeah, I think this is a good spot to stop. Honestly, this was a lot of information to take in, but I think it's gonna be pretty easy for you. Okay, perfect. And then I think our next lesson will be literally a week from today, so that should be enough time for you. Yeah, mucho gusto en mirarte otra vez, y buena suerte. Y te miro muy pronto, okay?